Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. To you, Lord, I'm grateful, Allah the sustainer. For sins I'm remorseful, Allah the forgiver. For blessings I'm hopeful, Allah the bestower. Gracious and merciful, Allah the creator. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد. The subject of principles of faith, and we are willing inshallah to discuss the first proof of scientific proofs. Because what we say, the first one was proof of innate, but then we come to scientific and then philosophical proofs. And the first one of them is a proof of intelligent design. This term, intelligent design, is very common in English language, and we use the same term. Though in Arabic, in Islamic philosophy, we say Dalilun Nadm. Nadm means a proper organization existing in the world is a sign that there is a creator for it. Not intelligent design, but we say the properly organized world. And nadm, nizam, the proper organization. Anyhow, the term is not important. The main thing, we have to know the meaning of that. The proof of intelligent design starts with many points in advance we should know about them. First of all, we believe that there is an existing world around us. The world may be then existing animals, human beings, mountains, galaxies, satellites, moon, sun, etc. The world around us is existing. Why do we say that the world is existing? It looks something very self-evident. We don't need to discuss that. Of course, it is self-evident, but there are still very small group, minority groups, they deny existence of the world around us. They said everything around us is not existing and it is only made by our mind. Well, we are not discussing of those group of people. Naturally, we believe that the things around us are existing. The world around us is existing. Well, it was mentioned in the history that one of the philosophers was standing in the fountain of water and was proving for his students that there is no water here in the fountain. Well, through his argument ability, he was discussing that there is no water here, and he made many ways to prove that there is no water. And they could not reply because their ability to reply was weak. And then ultimately he put his hand in water and threw the water out. And he said, this proof is against all my proofs. Now you feel that the water is there, you feel it. How can I say no water? But I mean, those who deny existence of the world around us, they may have some ways to prove, but that is a fallacy, not a fact. In fact, the world is existing around us, and we believe that this world is there. The second point we need to know, this world around us is very well organized world. I mean, if you see the life of a human being, life of the animals, life of the plants, and then the movements of the galaxies, satellites, everything, they are very well designed, and they are well planned things around us, not coming haphazardly without any law, without any proper design. And this is a very clear fact, of course. We see how the human being is made, designed for his eye, ear, nose, throat, his body, movement, how he grow 9 months in the womb of his mother, and then he comes out and he grow gradually. Naturally, there is a design there. All his body is well designed. The same thing the animal, the same thing the plant. When it is a seed, and that seed will grow and make a big tree with the fruits and wood, etc. So all that is a designed thing, So we see that the world around us, first, it is existing. Secondly, it is well-designed world around us. So this is the second point. We need to have an introduction to the proof of intelligent design, and I think everybody agrees with that. The second point, which is important, is the law of causality, as we discussed in the previous lecture, that for every effect there is a cause, or for every phenomena there is a cause. So this world around us is existing. There must be a cause, and that cause brought this world into existence. Otherwise we cannot find an effect without there has been a cause for its existence. So that law of causality actually is very clear in our mind. We feel it, we believe in it, and all the scientific experiments are depending on law of causality. If they do not believe in law of causality, they can deny all scientific facts. If somebody throws stone and kill another one, it hit his head and kill another one. If you will not say that the stone is the cause for bleeding and his killing, and you say, well, we have not seen the cause. We've seen the stone touching his head, and we saw his head is bleeding. But who said the stone is the cause? Maybe his head was bleeding by itself, and the stone came to his head by itself. So it is not the cause. I don't think any court in the world will say that. You kill somebody with bullet, and he said, yes, it is true, the bullet came to his head. But who said he was dead by the bullet? Maybe he is dead by something else. Because if there is no cause for any phenomena, so you cannot prove this is not the cause, so something else maybe. Maybe his brain burst by itself and the bullet has come, okay, but it is not the cause. If you boil the water and you see that when it reaches 100 degrees centigrade, the water will boil, you say that, well, I don't know, maybe no, that is not the fact, not a fact of physics, I say, because we have not seen the cause. We saw the boiling, the heat is there, and the boiling of water, but we have not seen the cause. So if we deny the cause and effect, then we cannot prove any scientific fact. We cannot prove any fact in our life, because all the facts are depending on that. Actually, that law of causality is understood not only by human beings, even the animals, they understand that. If you throw a stone to an animal, to a dog for example, then he will come to you and want to fight with you. He will not go to another one. He will not say that the stone came by itself. You know that Mr. X, he threw the stone and the stone came from him. So he understands law of causality. And if the dog was moving beside the mountain, for example, and some stone by chance came down from the mountain, he will not attack the man beside him, because you see it came from the mountain, not from this side. So even the animals understand the law of causality. So that we cannot deny it, and we believe in the law of causality. So that is also the third introduction that we need to know. And the fourth introduction to this proof we need to know is that the shape and type of the effect will give us an idea about the attributes of the cause. What does that mean? So if you come and you see somebody having very beautiful drawing on the paper, what you say? You have not seen who did that drawing, but because it is very beautiful, very clean, very neat, very nice, you say, well, he's a good artist. You have not seen the artist, but you say he is good artist. Why? Because it shows, first, it's present. It means that somebody made the drawing, and because its shape is very beautiful, so means he is very good artist. But if you see that drawing, which usually the children at the age of 3-4 years of age they do it, it is a drawing. There is somebody did it on the page. You see somebody played, okay, but then you can make it that somebody did this drawing, but that somebody is a child, not an artist. Why? Because the shape is not shape how the artist will do. I give another example. If you put two people typing on the computer, and one of them, after typing, he typed a very beautiful, good book. His typing is clean, neat, proper, readable, and the article he wrote is very beautiful article. Another one, you see only A, B, C, D there is no meaning for what he typed. What you will say? In both the cases, you say there is a cause. Fine, we accepted the cause. But what are the qualities of the cause? In the first instance, you said that person is knowing how to type and to use the computer. Also, his knowledge in that subject, if it is book of medicine, then you say his knowledge in medicine is very wide. If it is book of history, you say his knowledge of history is very wide, very good. But the second one, you say, yes, somebody played, but it looks he does not know how to type, he does not know reading and writing, because all the writing is haphazard. There is not a single proper sentence is there. So the sign will not only tell you about the cause for it, but will tell you about the properties or attributes of the cause as well. You know from that the cause is having these types of characters. Let us say another example. If you come and see a house properly built and another house is haphazardly built, both the ways you can say that these houses were built by a builder and the design was made by an engineer. But the first one, properly designed, you say, well, there was a good architect who designed the house. Everything comes clean, neat, proper, according to the rules and regulations of engineering. And the builders were very clean builders, because they built the walls very properly, straight, the floor, the doors, the bathrooms, and so on, the kitchen. So you have not seen the builder, you have not seen the architect. But from what you see, you say that there is a builder, there is an architect, and their attributes are that they are knowing what they are doing, they are very competent, and the design they made is very beautiful. But if you come just a small mud hut, then you say, okay, there is a builder for that mud hut, like a tent, like a small house, let us say, in rural areas, in villages. You say, yes, there is somebody did it, but that somebody does not know engineering, does not know architect, has not used proper materials, and he just he is a layman, and he put something just to cover the roof and making a shade for himself. That is all. So from what you see, you can actually tell not only that there is a cause for that, but you can give the attributes of that cause. These are the 4 introductory points. We need to know them before we go through this one. Now we come to the world around us, to the main proof of intelligence. After all those introductory points, the world around us is existing, and it has very nice and beautiful design and law order. Now, the question, does it need a cause or not? Yes, the answer naturally, we said for every phenomena there is a cause. Now, that cause can be the dead, dumb, blind nature, or the cause who made this world should be all-wise, all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient. He knows everything. So what are the attributes? Naturally, when you come and study the design, well, the design of the skies and different galaxies, the designs of a creation of a human being, the design of creation of animals, plants, everything you see is very well designed and very proper. So you see that ultimately the one who designed and created this world, first of all created with aim, with object, and created very beautifully, very nicely. Actually, you cannot make more beautiful than this design at all. If you sit and think that you want to make something better than this design, you see it is impossible. As it is said in Arabic, لَيْسَ فِي الْإِمْكَانِ أَفْضَلْ مِمَّا كَانَ. It is not possible to make better than what has been done by Almighty God. You see, when you study, for example, the human being, when you study the eye, the retina is less than 1 millimeter thick and has 10 layers, and in that 10 layers so many cells on different cells are there which capture the light and then transfer it to the optic nerve, and optic nerve will go to the brain, and then the brain will understand what is that light and then tell the person that, okay, that light is light of a person passing, or a car is passing, or whatever it is, you know. So you see, such a beautiful design to come. It cannot be made by the eye itself or by nature, which is dumb, deaf, blind nature, which has no spirit and no soul and no reason and no understanding. And you see, it came by chance. So that is not possible to come by chance, you know. Actually, the reading on a paper is one of the most difficult activities of the brain. It is a complex activity of the brain. Why it is a complex activity of the brain? I mean, from medical point of view I'm talking, because when you see the writings, it will go to the brain. The brain first will see what is written. Secondly, will contact the memory to understand what is written, because what is written is in your memory to understand it. Sometimes you see the black thing on a paper, but now you are understanding what is written, the sentences and all that, you understand it. So how you understand and memorize that, you have to contact from the optic sense and nerve, which only see it, to the memory. So the memory will tell you that what you are seeing is the letters and it reads this and that. Okay, then that memory should contact the motor nerves, and motor nerves will give order to the larynx and the lung to move in a way so that they can read. You see, when they studied the brain, they could not find the link between these three. How it happens, they don't know. Because optic nerve is a nerve will go to somewhere in the brain and finish. So how come optic nerve contact the memory, and how come the memory will go to the motor nerves which moves the muscles, sensory nerves which you feel sensation, but motor, it moves the muscle, and then give order to the muscles to move and make sound so that you can read. So you see that process is very complex, and when they study the brain, they don't see anywhere there is a contact, because the nerve will finish, optic nerve, go to the eye, from the eye there is a nerve called optic nerve, nerve of the vision, and it will end in somewhere in the brain and finish that. There is no contact between that and the memory, or between memory and the motor nerves. So how come one will read? Not known really. See, it is simple. You think it's very simple, it's easy, everybody reads. But when you study it, you find it is one of the most difficult tasks. How the doctors find difficulty? Because some people, when you give them something, they know it, what is it is. When you tell them to read, because of certain diseases, they cannot read. If you want to speak, you can speak well. But if you want to read, he cannot read. So when he speaks well, there is no problem with the larynx or with the muscles of the chest or the mouth, so he can speak easily. But reading, he cannot understand. So then they discovered there is somewhere a gap between sensory and motor nerves, He can see things and he can read or speak, but he cannot read what he sees. There is disconnected because of certain diseases, So they discovered that, this is a new fact, they were not aware of it. Well, if you study the cell, one single cell, you see that cell has practically all functions of the human being who has 100,000 billion cells. In the sense, the main factors, that is respiration, the cell will take oxygen for respiration. Eating, the cell eat food. And then excretion, the cell has excretion. And then using the food for its energy, that the cell can use that for energy. Even sensory that move. If the cell is put in a danger, let us say in a medium which is acidic medium, it moves to other side to get away of the danger. So even sensory activities are there. So when you think how one single cell can do all that functions, you see the strange point here. If a human being he eats with certain organs, with the mouth, and will go to esophagus, will go to the stomach. That is the alimentary system, isn't it? But the cell is a single cell. Eat with what? Has no mouth, no esophagus, no stomach, no. So how can eat? If the human being make respiration because he has a trachea and will go to lungs, and then oxygen will go to the lungs, chest, for example, the muscles will expand, so their inspiration and then contract, then the air will come out. So all that is due to organ, and that organ made of millions or billions of cells to make the muscles, to make the bones, to make the trachea, to make the lungs. But the cell is single cell. How come that single cell do all the job? A job which is done by millions of cells is done by a single cell. And so on. When you feel something, is because you have a brain and there are nerves, sensory nerves, which will come all over the body. If any nerve is cut, then you lose the feeling in that area because there is no sensory effect. Or if it is a motor nerve, then you get paralysis, the muscles will not move. So if you can feel because of effect of the nerves, now how come one single cell feel and there is no nerve in it? Because nerve by itself is a single cell. The nerve is a single cell also from the brain, and it comes long whatever to the hand or to the leg or to the body. It is also a cell. Of course, millions of cells which made the one full nerve. But what I mean, the feeling by single cells, it is also a cell by itself. But that is not a nervous cell to feel. it is, let us say, epithelium cell of the skin, or cell of the kidney, or cell of the stomach. So that cell feels. How come that cell feels when it is a single cell? There is no organ about it. So all that shows how complicated is the creation. And still it is very well designed. And then when they discovered the electron microscope, then they found that a lot of details are in the cell, with acids, RNA and DNA, the hereditary factors, and so on. All those details shows a beautiful design, beautiful law is there. So that law, how is made? By chance? By dead, deaf, blind nature, or by a designer who knows what he is creating and created it perfectly? So naturally the answer, it should be made by a designer, by a cause, by a creator who made it perfectly, and that is what the Holy Quran says, Tabarakallah ahsanul khaliqeen. Blessed be Almighty God, who is the best of the creators. So that is the design. Of course, we can see the design in many aspects of our life. I mean, human being is one. Even if you study different animals, you see there is a design. If you study even the environment around us on earth, how the plants take carbon dioxide and use it for food and give oxygen, and the human being do reverse. You take oxygen and then give carbon dioxide, and with that synergism, you see the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide remain stable in our earth. All that is a design, not haphazardly. And that what you call, there is intelligent mind behind it which designed it, and there is a cause. So that cause is an intelligent cause, and an intelligent cause can't be the matter by itself, because matter is dead, deaf, dumb. The matter cannot be, we say, the material by itself, not possible. And here we say that there must be Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the creator of that. So this is one of the ways to prove the proof of intelligent designs. However, there are 2-3 more ways or methods to prove the intelligent design. The second, let us say, method, to say presence of equilibrium and synergism in the world, means the designer is one, intelligent and omniscient. As we discussed, there is a lot of synergism in the world that designed. Not only it is beautifully made, but two things, one depend on the other, and that shows that is already pre-designed to do that. As we said, the plant can use carbon dioxide, and a human being can use oxygen, but both of them, when they come to this world, there is one completes the other. The human being without the plant cannot live, otherwise amount of carbon dioxide will be too much that the human being will get suffocation, and the plant cannot continue without carbon dioxide. If it is not there, is only oxygen is there, then the plant cannot grow. So to make the plant and make the human being, and one complete the other. Well, also in bacteria, in microorganisms, that phenomena of synergism is well known to complete each other. Sometimes the bee which makes silk, actually it does not see the silk that is made it, because it makes the silk around herself or itself, and then when the silk is complete it will die. But that silk is used for the human being. It has not seen the benefit of that, but still it is like that, also you see the let us say the pregnancy of the mother. you see her body will get so much hormonal changes that prepare that body for the growth of the baby. And after 9 months, when the baby comes out, still there are more changes with the mother, so that the baby can have breast feeding and get, let us say, emotion and love from the mother, which will help him to grow physically and emotionally. So all those changes, there is cooperation or synergism between the necessities of the mother and necessities of the child, So the designer who made it, he made that point as well, thinking that this baby, when comes out, what he needs, You see, if the mother do not have that love for the baby will be thrown out and will die. Nobody is ready to take that responsibility. So Almighty God created so much love in heart of the mother that will take care of the child, though it is very difficult, very hard. There is a lot of suffering, but still the mother is ready to accept that. So this is all because of certain changes, emotional, hormonal, and physiological, psychological changes within the mother, so the mother can tolerate all the difficulties of bringing up the children. So that means the Creator thought of that, and it shows it cannot come from the matter by itself. We say the matter by itself did it, is by chance, So how come by chance it will come? I mean, if we give an example, we say there are building material in one warehouse. There are cement, there are sand, there is steel, glasses, doors, and so on. Building material needed for building a house. And if an engineer, an architect come and get half of that building material and build with that half very beautiful villa, full and complete with every amenity needed. The other half remained in the warehouse, and the flood came and took all that building material and throw it. We made it like a small mountain, When the flood comes, we'll take the cement and the wood and the steel and all over each other. Now when somebody comes and look to both the situations, what is called happened by nature, you see that there is no design in it, the cement and the steel and the wood and all together, and there is no design in it. And you see the other side, a beautiful house, nice, resistant to earthquake, let us say, resistant to cold weather, to heat, and so on. The doors, windows, the floor, everything is made beautifully. So what you say? You say here there is a designer. There it came haphazard. There is no designer behind it. So what I mean, when we look to the world, we see there is a designer or there is no designer. Naturally, we see such a beautiful world. There must be a designer who designed it, because it is not haphazard. The third method of proving the intelligent design is the presence of a final cause in the world. That is to say, certain designs are made to serve another one, like the mother's body and the newborn baby. You see the world, as we discussed, there is a final cause. The nature, if it does something, there is no cause for the nature, because nature has no brain, no thinking to make. Think will happen. If there is a rain, then it will spoil everything. If there is a hurricane, it will destroy everything, because there is no aim of that. It is happening naturally without thinking, without rational thing behind it. While we see that in intelligent design system, that, as we said, certain things depend on others and prepared in advance. If you study the world of the bees or world of the ants and see how their life is complicated and how they come together and how they help each other to make things possible for their life, you see it is very complicated way. And that shows that Almighty God, who created them with that feeling and with that nature to do everything suitable for their life. The fourth method of intelligent design of proof is the law of probability, and that needs law of probability detailed discussion by itself. That is why we made it a separate proof, because it is important, and it is by itself independent proof to prove existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We keep it for the second session. والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.